Hey guys, what if Deku was the Hulk? This is part 7, I believe. I just watched the last part because I haven't done this what if in like almost a week, and I kind of forgot where I left off and stuff. Um, I also realized that I did a villain Deku thing, the first part to that, and so I guess my weeks are fully taken up, and uh, I guess I'm going to be doing Villain Deku the same day I do Jack Frost. And Killer Croc's over, so I think I'm going to replace it with uh, either, excuse me, what if Deku was a Jedi or, you know, something else. Sorry, I'm stretching. It's early. Well, not early. It's 10 o'clock, but I just woke up because my alarm didn't go off this morning. So we start off with, you know, Aizawa reminiscing about Shinso winning. Jesus. And he asks Shinso, does he think he'll ever be able to, convince Izuku to talk to him again? And I said in the other, in bits of the other what ifs, or the other episodes, or pieces, or parts, Izuku is in control of the Hulk. Scratch that. The Hulk's its own separate entity for a reason in the comics. And it's gonna be like the one from the TV show or Thor Ragnarok. Whereas, he's not. It's not the one from Thor Ragnarok. It's like the ones from the TV shows, where he's smart and he can speak English on his own. He's not a super genius, but he gets bits and pieces of stuff. And we're starting off with the USJ, not the USJ attack. That was the last episode. The sports festival. Izuku, is walking around the halls when not the halls, the waiting area basically, and that's when Todoroki does his whole, oh hi Bubby, does his whole I'll beat you blah 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 thing, and Izuku says probably not, but he accepts the challenge either way. Hi, what do you want? I'm recording. I love you too. You wanna come up? Good. Oh. Izuku is... Stop. Leave my face alone. Sit down. Izuku is, crap, I lost my train of thought. Oh, shut up. He's, he's cocky because he knows the Hulk can pretty much win against All Might, so he doesn't really see anyone else as a threat. I did give Bakugo the, one for all, right? I believe I did. Because he trained with, Izuku and All Might on the beach for those 5 years. So we'll start off with, the race, just like a normal. Beforehand, Bakugo, asks Izuku, do you think we're gonna, get noticed by any pros? And Izuku responds with, me and you especially, our quirks are very flashy. And Bakugo's like, yeah, I guess. And he goes, I don't know if we're gonna impress anyone. Our powers are, I don't know, just power. We don't have any real training. I mean, the Hulk is a mindless beast who fights randomly, doesn't have any fighting style. He just swings and hopes it'll win. And I rely too much on my explosions and one for all to back me up, that I don't really focus on, what would happen if I don't have them, that kind of situation. And Izuku goes, well then, after the sports festival, we'll train for those type of things. And, all that, and, then they go outside, and the speech thing happens, and Bakugo goes up, and he goes, I'm gonna win, the whole speech thing. He's still the same Bakugo, he just treats Izuku way more, way more nicer. He treats Izuku way nicer than he does even Kirishima. because he's technically his brother, and that whole thing. What else? I am shipping Froppy with Hulk this what if, right? So Froppy starts to get feelings for Izuku, and this is in Froppy's head. Actually, Froppy's talking to Ochako, as due to them being friends now, I guess. And she goes, what do you do when you have a crush on a guy who might not like you back? And Uraraka's like, well, who's the guy? And she responds with Izuku. And Uraraka, doesn't have feelings for him yet, but, responds with, oh, well, why are you asking me? And she's like, well, you and Izuku are friends, right? And she goes, hey, spit that out. What the f are you eating? Give it. No. Spit it out. Oh, fuck. Pain in the ass. Sorry. What the hell did you eat? Can't trust you on your own, can I? Come here. Up on my lap. There you go. Lay like this. And, Uraraka goes, yeah, I guess we're friends, but, just, if you like him, ask him. If, ask him out, or, tell him you have feelings for him. And either way, at least you'll have clarity. And, Froppy goes, okay, after the sports festival, I'll ask him, And Izuku, who's, walking, talking to Bakugo, who's like, yeah, I don't think you should have said that, because now everyone's going to be targeting anyone who's around you. And everyone's giving him and Bakugo the death stare. And Izuku's, like, holding his head down, is like, uh-oh. Too late for that. Bakugo responds with, they're just upset because they know I will win. And Izuku looks at him and goes, yeah, you're gonna win? And Bakugo turns and goes, don't forget I also have one for all now. And I can use, like, at least 15% of it. And Izuku looks at him and goes, I can fight All Might one-on-one. Your power, even though you have backup with your explosions, isn't enough to beat me. And, they continue walking. And they stand back in the crowd. And, not Mountain Lady, not Moon Knight either, that's a different dude. Why can't I think of the name? The lady who's the, I can see your face in my head. Hi. The one who, has the aromas in the shirt that she tears and puts people to sleep. And is the woman talking in the sports vessel with the I guess it would be a whip, I guess. It's not really a full-length whip, it's more like little, pieces of fabric that you snap on people, with the handcuffs, not chain cuffs, yeah, she responds with, like, the first thing will be, and she spins the wheel, sports, obstacle, and, or not sports obstacle, an obstacle race, and everyone's excited to go to the front line. Izuku, is trying not to turn into the Hulk, because he doesn't want to, he doesn't think it's necessary for this, and, he's walking, and, they begin, and Todoroki freezes them, and he immediately goes, well, there goes my idea of not turning into the Hulk for this, and like Bruce Banner says in the movies, I'm always angry, Cap, and transforms into the Hulk, jumping through the ice, pulling it, part of the ground up with him, pushes a bunch of people over onto their backs, jumps through the tunnel, breaking a bit of the front off, and landing, chasing after Todoroki, as the Hulk is like, that was a cheap move. And Todoroki realizes that, he's not going to outrun the Hulk, and he also just kind of made him a little upset. Todoroki does the whole freezing these zero-pointers off their balance. Hopefully, they'll take the Hulk out. They fall. The Hulk lifts one off at the ground, chucking it towards Todoroki, who literally makes the floor ice and slides underneath it, underneath his leg, and continues running. Hulk jumps all the way to where Todoroki is, and he's just at the beginning of the tightrope thing, right? So that's the 0 pointers, and it's just tightrope, and then the mines, I believe, is what they are. Yeah. So he's right there. Hulk lands right in front of him, pushing him over, jumping the whole gap, landing on the other side. Froppy, who's just getting there, and the others starts jumping across onto the wires and stuff. Froppy's now in second place, and Todoroki's like, crap, and he starts catching up, and he passes Froppy, who, is, surprised that that Todoroki can keep up with her, even though this is like made for her. Mei Hatsume is now in fourth. Bakugo's in third. Not Mei. Mei's not fourth. Froppy's in fourth. Mei's then in fifth. And Bakugo. So Izuku, Todoroki, Bakugo are the lead headrunners in this. Izuku lands, turning around. The Hulk lands. He sees all of them. And he sees Bakugo and Todoroki catching up. And he stomps on the ground, making it crack open, and have big bumps and rocks, sharp rocks sticking out of the ground. And, Todoroki now has to climb over them. Bakugo cheats, not cheating, but Bakugo just jumps over them. And the Hulk knew this. Hulk wants to come in first place because he heard the conversation him and Izuku were having. So he turns around towards the minefield and thunder claps it, where he claps, giving a round of applause, which uses giant shock waves of just pure energy and noise, pushing all the mines up into the air, and he blitzes across the field, and they all fall to the ground. Luckily, none of them go off, but a couple of them are still in the air. Bakugo has to dodge them, and one of his explosions hits one of the mines, making him explode, and it causes a chain reaction, and he's going ping-pong back and forth via explosions, landing at the front, kind of annoyed. Todoroki does the ice thing because he has to catch up with Bakugo. Him and Bakugo are fighting at the finish line. Izuku's there now, and the Hulk's just like in Thor Ragnarok, is hearing everyone, cheering, and he's holding his hands up, and Aizawa goes, the Hulk wins, or Izuku, not Aizawa, God, I can't think of her name. That girl, she goes, Izuku Midoriya wins, and, Eraserhead, President Mike, there we go, asks Eraserhead, why, what is that kid's quirk, and, President Mike he also adds, it seems so familiar, I feel like I've seen that before, and, Eraserhead says, you should have. 5 years ago, Izuku Midoriya lost control of his quirk, getting into a fight with All Might. And, ever since then, All Might's been training him to control his rage. And, President Mike asks, so that's Izuku in there? And Eraserhead, no, it's not. His quirk has its own separate entity. What we're seeing right now is the monster that we call the Hulk. And, Hulk looks up and goes, monster? And he goes, sorry, Hulk, I meant, person. And Hulk waves his hand, annoyed, continues walking, starts shrinking back down to Izuku, who's, ecstatic as he saw everything through the Hulk's eyes. He's jumping, he won. Of course, his shirt is ripped because the Hulk, he doesn't have a shirt designed for the Hulk yet. His legs are tiny, kind of bit ripped, and the waistband's, designed to stretch for him, but, it's a little big, so he's tightening it, and the pants at the bottom are ripped. My dog is staring at me like, who are you talking to? Izuku's, ecstatic. Bakugo comes in second place, literally an inch in front of Todoroki because he used his explosions to slide across the thing. Todoroki comes in third. Froppy comes in fourth. Then we'll go May Hatsume comes in at fifth, and then everyone else comes in the same place they come in. Hero versus not hero versus villain. Hero cavalry battle. I think that's what it's called. Midnight. That's her name. God damn it. Midnight. You know, right? That's her name. Am I getting that wrong? Midnight. I think it is. Midnight responds with, "The next match will be," spins it. No, give me that. Spins the wheel. The hero cavalry battle. You know, teams of 3 or more will group up, and the headband's giving on the amount of points as the blah blah blah. You know, and all that happens. And Zuko gets his 10,000. Bakugo gets his whatever's in second place, and him and Bakugo agree to group up. Bakugo decides that he should sit on top so Zuko could turn into the Hulk and fend people off. The Hulk grows to his normal size. Picks up Bakugo. Froppy asks if she can join, and he throws her up on his other shoulder. And 2 of them are there, and he's by himself. And Froppy's there to take other people's headbands. Bakugo's there to be the rider, and Zuko's just there to run around. May, of course, asks if she can join, and they're like, "Why would we? We have a perfect team as it is." And she goes, she can make a device where she has a device that's basically like a baby strap, so the 2 of them will go flying off if the Hulk runs off. Of course, she has to be part of the team for it to work. And they're like, whatever. And the 3 of them are like strapped on to the Hulk's back. Pretty, right there. Bach goes in the middle, Froppy's on the right shoulder, and May's on the left. May's using a gadget, which is basically like a grappling hook to steal people's headbands, and Froppy's using her tongue. Bakugo's sitting there using explosions, which doesn't hurt the Hulk. Kirishima ends up joining Todoroki's group as he's left out. Anyone else, and everyone gets in the same anyways, but it just matters about Todoroki and Bakugo and Zuko. My voice is weird. It's like echoing. Hi. My foot's falling asleep. Ow. Izuku starts off with running straight towards Todoroki's group, and as that happens, he gets hit by 2 giant, like, invisible window glass things by Monoma and the person who can make it. Monoma using his quirk, of course. They make a giant box surrounding, Hulk and Bakugo's team. Hi, stop. Lay down. Do you want to get down? Hey, go ahead. Don't hit your head. Don't hit your head. There you go. Okay. Sorry. My dog wanted to get down. The Hulk, of course, is strong enough, just breaks through the wall, walking. Bakugo uses an explosion. The other 2 make the glass wall, but it breaks the glass because his explosions are like double the strength they are in canon. And Hulk grabs Monoma off the group, taking all his headbands, putting it towards Bakugo's hand, who puts it around his neck, dropping Monoma, getting his team out. The Hulk realizes that they have enough to win. Bakugo, of course, wants to go fight everyone else, but the Hulk's like, "Why would we? We can win right now." And then Bakugo goes, "Oh, come on, big guy. You can't tell me that at least a couple of these people look strong enough for you to have a fight with." And the Hulk smiles. Froppy's like, we should totally just stay on the defensive." And as she says it, they rocket off towards other people. And the Hulk comes towards Todoroki. He makes a wall of ice, and all that happens is Hulk's fist goes through the ice. And he's like swinging his hand open and shut to try to grab Todoroki, who's now like a couple feet away. Who's like, and Kirishima's like, "Oh, that was a close call," And him and Momo, who are the 2 front horses, start walking off. Then there's Denki, who's the back horse. And then there's someone up on top, we'll say is, Uraraka doesn't join, so Uraraka joined Todoroki's team, we'll say. And so did Ida. Ida's the back or the main front horse. So no, so it's Ida in the front, Todoroki up top, Momo on the right, Kirishima on the left. Denki is holding Uraraka, who's in the back, who's not holding Uraraka, who's holding on to Momo's shoulder, and Uraraka's holding on to Kirishima's shoulder, and the group of them are all super light, so they're a little faster than the other people. And using Ida's engine, they rocket off using his engine quirk. And at the very last second, Todoroki goes, now, and he goes, Ida, now. Ida does reciprocal burst, running towards Izuku, trying to grab they're trying to grab Bakugo's a million or whatever, 100,000 thing, but they're literally all just strapped to Izuku's back, and he's too tall for them to grab. And Todoroki jumps onto the Hulk's shoulder off of his group, trying to reach, trying to grab Bakugo's head. Bakugo turns around, making an explosion, pushing Todoroki onto the ground. Right as he was about to touch the ground, Ida comes turning around using reciprocal burst, grabbing him, rocketing off. I think it's 10 million, right? Is the headband? Either it's 10 million or 10,000. Either way, they get like 10 of whatever, so 10 million, 10,000, 900 or 9,000 points, and they're in the lead, and everyone's like impressed, blah blah blah. Izuku's pretty much the winner of the first one and the second one, but Bakugo is considered the winner for that because he used the head horse. And then it's the actual fights. And it's Todoroki versus Izuku versus Shinso is the first match, and they're fighting, and Shinso tries to take Aizawa's theory in the question, seeing if he can control the Hulk. He asked questions, and of course the tail dude came up to Izuku explaining Shinso's quirk, and Izuku already kind of had a grasp on it, so he's trying not to talk, but he starts getting Izuku mad, who isn't in the Hulk form yet, but he starts bringing up Bakugo being, sorry, that's my finger, Bakugo being such a pain in the ass, can't believe anyone would love that loser, and that's when Izuku starts getting angry, and the Hulk transforms and goes, how dare you say that about and then immediately gets tranced, and he tells Izuku to turn around and walk out. The Hulk starts turning around, starts to walk, but Izuku in the head is trying to wake the Hulk up as they're two separate entities, and the Hulk's in his trance, and he's walking, and Izuku takes his hand and slaps the Hulk's face in his mind. The Hulk isn't waking up, so he starts trying insulting the Hulk, and he goes, I've never seen such a big, green, ugly smelling creature. I thought ogres were ugly and smelly, but I guess I was wrong, and the Hulk doesn't respond. And Zuko's like, oh, come on, big guy, there's gotta be something I can do to wake you out of this trance, and he goes, look at you, Mom's gonna be so disappointed in you. And that's when the Hulk snaps out of it, turning around going, how dare you bring her up, as she's dead in this What If, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I would have to go back and rewatch the first two What If, two parts, and the Hulk turns around, grabbing Shinso, and holding him, pointing at him, and goes, and doesn't say anything, but Shinso understands what he means, and he walks Shinso over, dropping him, and he falls on his butt, and that's when Aizawa's like, so the Hulk can break out of the trance, and he has more questions, so he's gonna have he's gonna have stuff happen later on that you'll see. Shinso, who's invited by his stepfather, his dad basically, to come sit up with him if he wants, since he's no longer part of the fight. He sits up, and question: do you guys want a lot of people do ship this President Mike and Eraserhead? Do you want them to be like a couple, And the reason, like, I'll change the reason why they adopted Shinzo is because President Mike wanted a kid. Because if you guys want that, I'll do that. If not, then, it won't happen. It would just be the same. Shinzo was adopted because, Aizawa did it out of, felt bad for Shinzo not having anyone to be family. Shinzo starts talking to Eraserhead, and Eraserhead's responding. And, the two of them are talking, and Eraserhead asks, so why do you think the Hulk and Izuku were able to break out? And that's when Shinzo realizes that they're two separate entities. And he goes, well, that's because I got the Hulk to respond to me, not Izuku. And that's when Aizawa goes, what do you mean? And he goes, maybe Izuku isn't caught by my trance, and he can snap the Hulk out of it. And he goes, and Aizawa asks, so why didn't he do it in the last time you controlled him, in the hero versus villain test? And he goes, maybe he didn't realize that he could. That stuff happens. And then the fight between Todoroki and and the tape dude, Zero, I think his name is, happens just the same. Huge ice pillar. Is happening just the same. And, that's Todoroki versus Midoriya. And the fight begins with Todoroki making a huge ice pillar, completely trapping Izuku from his neck down all the way to his feet. And then that's when Midnight asks, are you able to move? Be honest. And Izuku responds with, of course I am, as he turns into the Hulk, which shatters the ice, not the glass. Todoroki realizes that, his ice is strong enough that it can hold off the Hulk's punch at least. So he makes a giant ice wall, and the Hulk laughs, going, that won't stop me a second time, as he puts his fingers into the ice, lifting it up out of the ground, ripping pieces of the concrete out as well, pulling it in half, and he slams it on Todoroki, who gets crunched as his shoulder's dislocated. Todoroki responds with, so you're not holding back, huh? And the Hulk goes, why would I? It shows that you can handle me. I figured you could handle my full strength. As he turns around, slapping Todoroki by the face, basically bitch slapping him. Sorry, pardon my language. Todoroki slides right, his head literally almost out of bounds, but his feet have to be out of bounds, so he sits up. He has a huge red handprint on the whole side of his face, and he realizes he's not going to win unless he does uses his fire. And Todoroki, is refusing to do it, and that's when Izuku realizes, that he's not doing it, and the Hulk responds with, you think that you're gonna beat me, the man who can fight All Might at his best, without doing your best? And Todoroki responds with, I can beat you without using that power. And he goes, that power? What do you mean? It's your power, isn't it? And Todoroki's like, it's my father's power, as he, questioned what he was doing for a second, and immediately went back to his childish nature, And that's when the Hulk, starts shrinking back down to let Izuku handle this, as he knows Izuku's better at this than he is. As he shrinks down, Todoroki tries to freeze him. He rolls out of the way, and he responds with, you're not going to beat the Hulk just by using one power, when you could use both of your powers. And that's when he responds with, it's not my power, it's that monster's power. And he goes, of course it's your power. It's yours, not his. As he punches Todoroki in the face. Todoroki, gets the flashbacks of his mother. Everything happens the same in canon. As he goes, you asked for this, not me. And the fire releases. And Izuku's like, oh crap, come on big guy. As he starts to transform slowly. As it happens, the huge fire and ice happens. And the Hulk swings his fist. And that's when they put up the wall, because they don't want the two of them to kill themselves. What happens is, instead of, it kind of happens the same as in canon, but because the Hulk wasn't fully transformed, he goes flying, and Todoroki used his ice, and the Hulk's feet are out of bounds, but his head and upper half is still in bounds. So, but he's also de-transformed and is in Izuku's form, who's unconscious. So she calls it, Todoroki wins, and that's when Aizawa and Shinso, who were both still talking, not paying attention to the fight, like look down and see that Izuku's been defeated by Todoroki, and all of the audience members are silent, and all of a sudden they all scream out like, "Yeah! Like that was amazing!" And everything happens the same. Bakugo wins who he wins against. Todoroki wins against Ida, and then Ida has his phone call. This is Ida. Hey, brother. I'm sorry I didn't win like I promised. Because he's leaving a voice message. His brother isn't there, because we all know why. But, I'm sorry I didn't win, I'll try better, I'll try harder next year, and he goes, even though I failed this time, I will still become a hero, blah, 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 and, hangs up. Then, the fight between Bakugo and Todoroki happens, just like in canon. But Bakugo, who's using One For All now, blitzing this across this back and forth, in a zigzag position, dodging Todoroki's ice, uppercuts Todoroki as he falls, and his head's outside of bounds, but his feet aren't. And he sits up, realizing that he's fast. He's almost a blur, and all he sees is like lightning. It's not gonna be green lightning like Izuku's is. It'll be like normal color lightning, like the Flash's lightning, like yellowish orange. Bakugo blitz back, and he uses his explosions, and makes a huge explosion, which Todoroki makes an ice wall blocking, but it shatters, and he gets pushed back by the wind, making the ice wall, holding himself back from falling off the edge. He also realizes that he's not going to win, and that's when Bakugo goes, Izuku is right, you're not going to win against us unless you use your fire, as he jumps into the air using One For All, coming back down, making a huge explosion that pushes Todoroki into the ground, like literally pushing his arms and stuff through the ground, and there's like one of those Looney Tune cartoons where someone gets thrown into a wall, or like Tom and Jerry, and it leaves their imprint, and he climbs out, and his shoulder's getting really messed up, as it was just dislocated, and of course it was relocated before the couple other matches, but it's hurting, and Todoroki makes a huge ice thing just like in canon. Bakugo breaks out of it just like in canon, and that's when he uses his fire, and Bakugo does the Howitzer impact or whatever it is, where he spins super fast using explosions charging at him. But Todoroki doesn't cop out from using his fire this time. As he does, it burns Bakugo's hands as he drops to the ground, using One For All, clenching his fist, punching Todoroki in the stomach, who freezes Bakugo from the neck down, just like he did Izuku. Bakugo starts using explosions to break the ice, and that's when Todoroki uses a low-temperature blast that hits Bakugo in the face, melting some of the ice, so it hits him from his shoulder up to his neck from the left side, which burns Bakugo, and he has 1-degree burns, and he's holding his face. And Todoroki realizes he just hurt someone, and he stops using his fire as Bakugo stands up, as that's kind of what he was hoping for, making an explosion in Todoroki's stomach, sending him flying back as he uses the ice. This time he makes a huge ice pillar, which catches Bakugo's hands in the air, and he looks like he was pinned, like what happened to Jesus. So give me a sec. God bless me. Sorry about that. And Izuku is watching from the crowd, not knowing who's gonna win or not. And the fight that everyone cared about, or by everyone I mean the fight that Eraserhead and Shinso really cared about, was the one with Hulk, as they're trying to figure out how Todoroki won against the Hulk. It seems like impossible, and they're thinking if he could win against the Hulk, maybe he could win against All Might. And the only reason he won is because the Hulk wasn't fully transformed, because Izuku had to transform back into him, as he de-transformed and retransformed, which takes a lot out of the Hulk. So the Hulk was only using 12% of One For All, so he was weaker than what Bakugo was, than what Bakugo is, So he was just a little, Izuku was the size of Muriel and was starting to turn a bright green. but then he got knocked out because he fell to the ground. He de-transformed from the blast, the pure force of, the explosion that happened in Cannon, and he hit his head on the ground face first. And Todoroki wins via painting Bakugo like happened to Jesus Christ. Rest in peace. And Todoroki passes out from exhaustion, and Bakugo was defeated beforehand though, and the fight was called. Todoroki wins, and Todoroki, out of exhaustion from using his quirk so much, and that a giant explosion to his stomach, falls onto his face. And the medics come, they both heal. Todoroki comes first place. Sadly, Izuku does not come in third. But everyone votes for, so it literally comes the opposite that it did in the way of the match. Izuku came first in requests, then Bakugo, then Todoroki, which is weird. But, and that's when, Aizawa does the whole, usually it'd be more spread out throughout the year, but, pointing at the other three, because these three got the most votes via, their incredible show of power. Shinso laughs, he's upset, not thinking he got any votes, as he sees he was the 5th most voted for person. And, he starts getting happy. And Izuku, turns around because he's, right behind him, congratulating him. And that's when, he explains the not the entrance exams, not the training camp, shut up. Shut it. Good girl. Shut the fudge up. Come here. Leave the guy alone. And he explains the, oh my god, I'm gonna kick that dog downstairs. He explains the whole, what was it? Shut up. Leave him alone. He explains the whole, god damn it. You're making me lose my concentration here. Whatever. The thing where you go and train with a hero. Everyone goes to train with who they train with. Bakugo goes to train with, Gran Torino, and, Zuku, doesn't really want to go to any of these people, as he doesn't think they're, be right for the Hulk, and he'd be pretty upset about it. All Might offers for him to go train with Bakugo as well. He will, because Bakugo's his brother, and, might as well. Why not? And that's going to be the next part. The video I have to do after this is Hawkeye, the, what if that no one likes, I believe. I haven't checked the stats on that. I have 107 subscribers, so really thank you for reaching me even to 100. Hell, reaching me to 50 subscribers was amazing for me. I thought this channel was gonna never grow. I should, save this in case I get any bigger, but thank you guys. I'm gonna say this every time I reach over, a height that I thought I'd never get. Right now, 107 subscribers. I thought I was only gonna get, 3. And, of course, I'm not always going to do what ifs, what if YouTubers, I feel like, are going to die out if they only do one series, which I can only do one series. Maybe when a new anime starts that people, that I like, because I only really watch certain animes, and out of my lifetime, I've only watched Fairy Tail, the beginning, first couple seasons of Naruto, a couple of Dragon Ball episodes, of course, all of the seasons of My Hero Academia, and maybe a little bit of, can't think of the series name. Either way, it's only 5 series, which a lot of people say, My Hero Academia fans have only seen like 5 series. Pretty much right for me. You know, I've only seen like 5 other animes. Of course, I do want to watch One Piece as it is. I hear from all of my friends who watch anime, and even my brother who doesn't really watch it that much, you know, says it's an amazing show. And I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, except for the fact that I have to find a place that will have all of the seasons. And then, even then, I'm not going to catch up until I'm 122. So, you know, wow. So I also have to mention, the amount of support I get on videos is crazy. I would like you guys to comment more, because I like hearing people talking to me and like what they want to see and what they want to hear. Definitely tell me what you want to do with Aizawa. If you want him to be, you know, with President Mike. Do you want him to be with Miss Joke? Even though everyone thinks that she's a lesbian. We don't know, as we've only seen her in like literally 2 episodes. You know, and all that. So, of course, again, if you're having any feelings of like self-doubt, suicidal thoughts, feel free to talk to people. If you want, you can talk to me. Of course, your conversations will be for all of the fan base who could see you. So I am not the best person to talk to about. If you do want to talk to me, go ahead. If you're okay with like people reading your own comments about it. If not, don't. Go talk to your friends, your family, your mother, anyone you think will support you. Because if you're having suicidal thoughts, go talk to someone. And if you're like, you know, want to talk to someone about, you know, you being, you know, gay or lesbian or, you know, trans, talk to somebody you know you can trust, like maybe your friends. Then again, like my cousin just is dating her girlfriend, and one of her old friends, you know, he you know, isn't really the nicest guy. You know, he's starting teasing her for, they, sorry, started teasing them, they and them for, you know, dating each other, and, you know, that really surprised her, as, you know, he was one of the, like, closest friends she's had. So, again, people aren't what they seem like they are, you know, so only talk to people who won't share their opinion, like maybe, like, a therapist, if you want. If you have a therapist, maybe your parents. Then again, like I said, there are people who don't like the idea of their children being gay, lesbian, trans, all that stuff. So, sorry, just be careful on who you tell, because not everyone's super supportive, and not everyone is kind. So just be careful if you tell someone like that. If you're having suicidal thoughts, talk to someone. I'll be signing out. Hauser headed out of the building because my dog wants to go downstairs. She's sitting out the staircase. I'm going to do the outro now. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys stay safe. I hope you have a good day. And, wow. I did that all in the wrong order. But, Hauser signing out. Bye, guys.